Good morning everyone, it is a late September morning here. If you haven't guessed, we are standing outside the Renaissance Hotel at St Pancras Station today, and if you guessed from that, today we're doing something a little bit different. Today we're taking Eurostar. So what I want this video to be is a bit of a journey review, I guess, of what it's like to take standard class on Eurostar from London St Pancras, where I'm at now, off to Rotterdam. So let's get to it. I have to say, I don't regularly come to St Pancras, which sits directly next to King's Cross Station. However, it still amazes me how pretty a station it is. Opened in 1868, it's one of the wonders of Victorian engineering with its Gothic architecture, and dare I say, one of the more elegant stations in the world. Eurostar services moved here from London Waterloo in 2007, after the construction of HS1, which was a dedicated high-speed link from London to the Channel Tunnel. Anyway, today I'm travelling in standard economy, which is one of the classes operated within Eurostar services. You don't get much except a seat, and if you manage to book early enough, a table as well. However, in standard premier, you do also get some food, along with drinks, and in business you get all of the above, plus access to the lounge, which also hosts a cocktail bar, let me add. You also have far more flexibility on your tickets and the ability to turn up 20 minutes before your train leaves. Much better than an airport. If you do have some time to kill, you can start your day off at the Renaissance Hotel lobby, which is where I was. However, I wasn't lucky enough to stay there. If you do have some time to kill before your train, you could easily spend your time in one of the many shops ranging from shoes to toys. But if you don't fancy some shopping, well, you can visit one of the health centres or maybe grab some food and a meal deal at M&S. You could also head upstairs to one of the many bars and restaurants, including Europe's longest champagne bar at Cerches, or take in some art from the British artist Paul Day, and of course the famous clock, which is said to be one of the largest for any railway station in the world. Or was, shall I say. Should you not fancy any of the above, you could also find a seat and take in the music being played by many of the musicians who turn up and remind me how bad I am at the piano. Sadly for me, I can't stay too long as I'm running late as usual and I have 40 minutes till my train leaves. So I head to departures. Surprisingly, there's no queue and I walk through seamlessly. Those that are travelling in business premier, there is a separate entrance to the main entrance. However, it should be noted that queues do get extremely long in the mornings and evenings, where several trains depart very close together. So I would say arrive at least an hour before your train departs and you'll be good to go. Anyway, as you can see, security was a breeze. You go through your baggage scanners, where there are no restrictions on liquids, and also go through 2 passport checks, one for the UK exit and one for the EU entrance. So we've made it through security, absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever. This is the benefit of travelling by train. I can bring my water with me, I've got liquids, 5 minutes, that's all it took to get through security, and as a bag check, UK exit control for passports, and then French passport control, or in this case probably Dutch, EU let's say. The departures lounge itself is quite crammed. This is just one train for example. However, there are some bare essentials, including the station pantry, well duty free if you need to do some shopping, and of course a trusty Pret, which seems to be at every street corner in London. For those lucky enough to travel in business, head to the right as you pass security and you'll find the Business Premier Lounge. Here, as I mentioned, you can get a variety of drinks, cocktails, food, a quieter-ish lounge, and many more bits and bobs. Anyway, everyone departs through these doors here, but head up to the platforms. So they've just announced our platform. You can see that everyone is now hurtling towards platform 10. So hopefully it shouldn't be too much of an issue to get to our carriage, which is number 7. So let's go join the queues. I find my carriage fairly easily, but some of those that are at the upfront carriages might have to walk quite a while, as these trains are approaching 400 metres in length, some of which are 18 carriages long. Once on board, there's a variety of luggage racks. I'm not sure if these get locked on this service, but they have the capability of doing so. but coming with a backpack, I could easily fit this overhead. And to my surprise, I'm by a table and no one is around me. Amazing. The total crossing doesn't take very long, and this tunnel is still one of the amazing engineering challenges that was overcome. Constructed 34 years ago, the Channel Tunnel opened in 1994. The whole length is actually 31.5 miles long and connects the UK to mainland Europe. However, the actual underwater section consists of 3 tunnels, each of 23.5 miles long. And to this day, it's still the longest undersea tunnel and the 3rd longest railway link in the world. 4G is also meant to be available 75 meters under the channel surface. However, today it wasn't working. Now, as I went in standard, there was no food on my ticket. However, in the middle of these 16-car trains that I was on, there are 2 buffet carts, which I headed to. They do have a meal deal option, which includes a sandwich, cold drink and a snack for £8.80, which isn't awful, all things considered. The total journey to Rotterdam was about 3.5 hours, and after maybe 2 hours or so, I got bored and decided to explore. The seats are pretty comfy, some come with footrests, and there's also a coat hanger. These tables I thought were quite nifty and do extend outwards, but they're also a bit of a faff when there's many things in the way. But generally speaking, the trains are fairly spacious and open. For business and standard Premier, you do have a slightly more comfy and wider seat in a 2-1 layout, which also reclines a lot more rather than the 2-2 in standard. It does also come with a nifty reading light and a mirror, as well as various coat hooks. The toilet themselves are pretty spacious-ish, relatively, for a train I guess. But there's running water, which should be censored. Well, that doesn't seem to work. And there's also a hand dryer, which doesn't seem to work either. Oh, that probably explains it. Meanwhile, the disabled toilets are a lot more spacious, as you'd expect. We've got a nice locking door over here, rails, various flush points, as well as an SOS sign. Water is working. I've now found out the sensor is actually under the sink, as you can see. Got soap and hand dryers, and also another SOS point down there and a bin. So all in all, pretty good. So my journey to Rotterdam was nearly complete, and all I can say is that it was seamless. We passed through France, Belgium and Dutch lands before we end up heading into Rotterdam. So all in all, a pretty smooth journey with no delays. And we are finally here in Rotterdam. So overall, pretty good journey on Eurostar. It was quick, journey wasn't delayed. I got a decent seat. Thankfully, there wasn't really anyone around me, so I got that space. The Wi-Fi, pretty awful. They keep saying there's 4G in the tunnels. That didn't happen. Most of the Wi-Fi didn't connect. Ended up using my phone for the bulk of it. And we're finally here, sunny, gorgeous Rotterdam. Before we finish off, I just want to show you this station. It is very hard to showcase, but it is absolutely stunning. Now, before we go, this last part of the video is a top tip, I suppose, or how you actually find the Eurostar platforms when you come back towards the UK from Rotterdam. Because it's not as obvious as I thought. In Rotterdam, you can use your Eurostar tickets on the QR code barriers. There are no staff members really about, but from there, you can see a small sign which tells you to head to platform 2. The building actually has everything it needs from check-in to security, including passport control downstairs and a small waiting area upstairs, which you can get quite a good view of the station from. Once the train is ready to depart, you go into that holding pen I showed earlier, and for those that are interested, they only open carriages, I think it's 8 to 18, so people can't just walk on and off the train, which makes far more sense now. And that's the journey from London to Rotterdam. See you for the next one. Bye.